So my name's Tyna Collins. I am from Worcestershire. I have a portfolio of properties in Worcestershire that are family lets and also commercial. And I've known Susannah for roughly 3 years. So before I met Susannah, my property journey started when I inherited a property. And then I managed to grow a portfolio literally from watching YouTube on a night time when I got home from work. And I learned how to make better money out of property than I was. So I managed to grow my portfolio on my own a little bit more from a YouTube education. And then I got to the point where I realised this is a bit bigger than a hobby now. I think I need a bit of help. So then I'd already seen Susannah on YouTube and liked her style. So then I got a couple of packs and then quite liked the packs. They were very straightforward. They were very easy for me to understand. I'd watched a lot of stuff on YouTube and it was very, sometimes it didn't actually give me the information I needed. It was all about, oh yeah, you'll make a lot of money, but it wasn't actually, how do I do it? The packs were really good. I really understood them. And then I decided to have a try before you buy for the mentoring weekend. It was a choice between the face-to-face mentoring and the online mentoring for me, but I didn't know which way to go. Also, I'd never had a mentor and to be honest, I thought, oh my word, what is mentoring going to be all about? And is it going to be a load of rubbish? Am I going to be paying a lot of money for a load of rubbish? So I wanted to try it out first. So I did a try before you buy weekend and yeah, it was brilliant. It was daunting to begin with because I was a hobby landlord. It wasn't a business. I had a full-time job. And then did a try before you buy weekend and it was just brilliant. Really, really enjoyed myself and realised that actually I could possibly take this to the next level. I decided to go for the face-to-face mentoring just because my learning style is just around people. I love being around people. So I come once every month down to Bristol and yeah, it is a commitment. I have a child and a husband but it's a commitment, but it's not a chore. So it's actually a really fun commitment and the buzz you get from the room and the information you get from the room is so valuable. So although it is a commitment you have to make, because there's no point spending the money and not actually making the commitment to come along and making it happen. It's never been I've never thought, oh no, I've got mentoring this weekend. It's always been a really exciting commitment to have. So I've done 2 years with Susannah and now I run a property business, Fred and Jeans. But now I've decided to do a 3rd year with Susannah. And the reason I've decided to do that is because I've seen mentoring from the very beginning of being someone who's in a hobby, someone who doesn't know how to run a portfolio, that maybe, and this is why I think it's so good, is that the fact that when you first start out, it's very daunting. So I've seen it from that perspective. And then I've become to a point where I've started to run a business. And so I've seen it at the very early days of running a business. And now I think for my 3rd year, I can make that business a really successful one, which is why I've gone for a 3rd year with Susannah. And this is where I think the mentoring is really good because actually at any stage you're at, whether you're a hobby, whether you've just started out on a property business, or whether you're actually already running quite a good property business and you want to make it more streamlined, it covers all those elements and you can pick up something at every level, which I don't see much else that's out there that enables you to do that. So starting out in property, there is so much out there. For me, as I said before, I started on YouTube. YouTube is a really good place to start because it's free. And if you've got a job, you can do it on an evening and you can do it in your lunch hour and you can gain some information. As regards mentoring, I would say you have to choose the mentor that's right for you. And there are many, many mentors out there. So it's important that you get to know that mentor's style and if you respond well to that style. The reason I liked Susannah's style is because it was very straightforward. It was very honest and I really responded well to that style. So I wouldn't recommend you ever jump in with a mentor straight off. Do your research online, watch YouTube clips, make sure they respond, make sure they're right for you. And then with Susannah's, I would recommend to make sure it is right for you that you download a couple of the packs like I did just to get used to her style. And then you also maybe do a try before you buy. That way you'll know whether the room is right for you, and you'll know whether the face-to-face mentoring is right or if the online mentoring is right. Because for some people, the face-to-face mentoring might be a little bit much, but you get so much from the room. I've known people who have done the online mentoring and then moved to the face-to-face mentoring because they just need the extra support. And the people on the mentoring are amazing. I could not have done anything. I wouldn't be the person I am today had I not joined mentoring and had I not been around the other people in the room. Although it's what Susannah delivers, it's also the knowledge you get from the room, and you're around people that are making it happen, and you don't get that anywhere else. And I go to other networking places, but I do not get that. The other people around that are actually doing it and are happy to share information and are friendly with it. The trouble is with property is that there's a lot of people out there that are a bit cloak and daggers. They're a bit like, oh yeah, well, I'm really successful. But actually, when you drill down, they're not as successful as they might seem. But everyone in the room is so honest. And that's what I really, really like about it, is the honesty. So the business in a box area, which is on Dropbox, which is really easy to access, is really good because you can go back to it when you need it at the time. So for instance, you might not be doing auctions for another 2 or 3 months, but if you've done the auctions weekend 2 or 3 months before, you can go back to your notes that you've taken on the actual weekend, but then you can go into Dropbox and get all the presentations and get all that stuff, which is really great to go over. The other good thing about it is that, especially if you're starting out in a property business like I was, is the fact that you have no idea what systems you need. You have no idea what spreadsheets you need. Whereas what happens is you go into Dropbox and you go, oh, okay, I need this spreadsheet. So this is the information I need to start filling in. And that's what's really helpful, because she's already grown a business. And so being able to have someone's systems that are bigger than you really helps bring you forward to that level. So at the moment, I'm just doing a refurb on a property. It's in the Worcestershire area. I bought it for 71,000 and my refurb will cost me about 15,000. And its market value at the end of that refurb will be 105,000. So the process I do is I buy it with cash because I work with investors, so they invest into Fred and Jeans. And then I put a mortgage on it, a buy-to-let mortgage, because this one is actually going to stay in my portfolio. And then that enables me to pull my investors' money back out plus my money, because I always put some of my own money into each deal as well. I will have £13,000 left within the property at the point of the remortgage coming out. Our cash flow after payment of an agent and also mortgage and all the other costs, our cash flow about £300 per calendar month off that. So in theory, that gives me about roughly a 27% ROI on it, which is return on investment. And so within 3.5 years, I will own that property without any cash left in it. And the difference with this is that I already had a portfolio before Susannah, but it was a very average portfolio. So although I did really well to get that on my own, this level of being able to do it has come from the information I've got through Susannah. Before, you can build a portfolio up and, you know, it might give you 6-7% a month, and that's great. But I wasn't looking at how I recycle my cash. I wasn't looking at buying well. And so this is a really new turning point for me as regards the quality I'm buying and how I'm recycling money at much higher levels than I ever did before. So the biggest change for me, not only is it the information that I've had from Susannah, it's been able to spend time with people who are already successful in property. I wouldn't have access to these people if I hadn't have joined the mentoring. And then the biggest change for me has been mindset. I had an employee mindset. So you're very used to having that money per month come in, not worrying too much about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, because the money will come in, but you just got to deliver your job. And then it's changed my life radically in so many ways. The building of a mindset and the building of my confidence. And the confidence in the fact that I can actually go out and make this happen, and I can run a business, and I can deliver on all the aspects that a business needs. And there are days when I think I can't, and I think that's quite normal. But I think the biggest thing is, and it's been a big push on my mindset, and not to let my own confidence, or lack of it as I did have, stand in my own way. And I started this when I was 40, and I'm so glad I did, because it's had a huge impact in every single area of my life. And it's just invaluable. Even if I become rich or I don't become rich, is kind of irrelevant. Because actually what I've learned over the past 2 years about myself, I only kind of discovered me last year, which is a bit random at the age of 40, but suddenly I started to know me, I started to know my strengths, started to know my weaknesses. And another big thing it's done is I'm dyslexic, and ever since school I've stayed in a job because I thought I'll never get another job, no one will ever employ me. And then it turns out I've got quite good skill set, which I never even knew about until last year. So even if I don't earn a load of money, I have already done something that I never thought in a million years I would be able to do.
You can tell I love sharing information on property because it is what works. If you want more in-depth information, consider the mentoring programme. If you hop onto our website, you can read all about it.